So, should you work with a listing agent or a buyer's agent when you're looking at homes? I get calls from random buyers multiple times on my listings telling me that they're interested in the property. The first question I ask them is, are you working with an agent? Because as an agent, I can't interfere with another agent's contract. So if as a buyer you have a contract signed with the buyer's agent, which as of August of this year, 2024, that agent's going to be required to sign a buyer's rep. Have you signed a buyer's rep with them? So let me tell you why working with the listing agent is not a good plan, especially in Texas. In Texas, we're not a dual agency state. What we are, we have what's called an intermediary with or without appointment. So what that means, if you come to me as the listing agent, you don't have an agent, and we sign an agreement to work together, and I'm still representing the agent or the seller, then there's a document called intermediary without appointment. Well, that's bad for you and bad for the seller, because what that means is all I'm going to be is a transaction coordinator. You and the seller will have to sit down together, and you're going to have to tell them what you want on the contract, what your offer is, any terms and conditions, and I cannot give either side advice or opinion. So when it comes to repairs, too bad, you and the seller are going to have to figure it out on your own and then tell me what you want on any amendments. Is that a good position to be in? No, it's not. And I do not allow the agents at my brokerage to do intermediary without appointment. So what happens is we do what's called intermediary with appointment. So if one of my agents has a buyer that they show the property and they decide they want to make an offer, we assign another agent within the brokerage to represent that buyer. The only conversation that my listing agent has with the buyer's agent inside my company is, hey, here is Sally Buyer. Pardon me, here's her name and number. And he or she may give the agent the email address, say they want to make an offer on my listing, would you represent them? And that's the end of the conversation. They put the offer together. Then you as the buyer have an agent to represent you, not one that can't represent you and the seller together, because one, I don't allow it. Number two, again, as I said, an intermediary without appointment means that that agent cannot give you advice or opinion. So if you're calling listing agents, just know that they cannot represent the seller and you together, or you get no advice or opinion when it comes to running a contract and negotiating any terms after. So you need to have a buyer's agent. So if you do call me on one of my listings, I'm happy to show it to you. If you decide you want to make an offer, then I'm going to have one of my agents assigned to you, not myself. They'll represent you on the buy side. I'll represent the seller. That way, there's less likelihood of a lawsuit, because if you are involved in an intermediary without appointment, getting no advice or opinion, I would not even be able to tell you the name of an inspector, a lender. So it's in your best interest to find an agent, work with that agent. Don't do the agent's job. The agent is paid to call listing agents. If you're buying, to see, are there any offers in? And I'll even throw this in, if you're looking to lease, do not call listing agents. They're not going to help you generally. Find an agent, work with that agent, have them call on your behalf. So always work with your own agent to represent you, especially in a purchase. On a lease, it's best to have an agent on your team. Even if they do list the property, one of the properties you're interested in, it's not as much an issue as it is with a purchase. Because with a purchase, you're going to be responsible for that property condition. It's going to be yours. It's going to be your mortgage payment. So if you have any questions about intermediary here in Texas, if you're interested in one of my listings, I'm happy to talk to you. If you're a seller, just keep that in mind that you do not want your agent working with the buyer. You want that buyer to be represented by another agent. Because in Texas, that's not a good thing. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I hope you find this useful. All my contact information is at the end of this video. Look forward to speaking with you. Have a great day. Enjoy the summer.